Hey, SnapFlash fam, welcome back. This weekend, the Botswana Federation of Trade Unions, BFTU, did something rare in Botswana. They pulled survivors, activists, lawyers, and top government officials into one room to confront the GBV crisis face to face. And what happened in that room? Honest, emotional, uncomfortable truth-telling. Let's get into it. Here's the shocker. Survivors told government straight up that delays, silence, and broken systems are costing lives. And even legal experts admitted GBV exists inside their own profession. Stick with me. This forum exposed cracks we cannot ignore. Before we go deeper, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss the stories that matter. Leading the state delegation, Minister Pius Mokware didn't sugarcoat it. He said social media is exposing GBV faster than government can react, and that inaction will be visible for all to see. He revealed that Gender Minister Lesego Chambo is pushing new GBV-specific laws to Parliament, and that every workplace in Botswana is now legally required to adopt GBV policies.
We applauded you for good work in ensuring that you consolidate a lot of laws that were separate to each other, in making sure that there's an employment law. Is it the answer? Is it the answer? Will it be our blueprint to make sure that our workplaces are safe and are safe havens for survivors of GBV?
Thank you very much, madam. Let me I don't think we are addressing this issue properly. I think we are addressing this issue from a desktop solution where you sit in expensive hotels, attend dinners, discussions in languages people don't even understand you. That's not going to be the problem. That's not going to be the solution. First of all, let's say, GBV, Incha, is it new? Ronavara to Anka Gallery to the Incha, Kilimorona, Ra Boloka Mutolets are household of Gerkimusima. Ra Boloka me Musimanu, Namutere, to Mokatala, you look out at 7 days, have Budio go Otikwa. Ra Moloka. Horrible stories. They read. That's why I go to Hokosha again. Habora Hokosha, Rinti Rirai, Miracle to Mr. Ratapotana Hokaver, Umuska, Ravana Katsoy. What was our priorities for 58 years? What was our priorities? This horrific death. We've been recorded. We didn't know what happened. These deep scars, they didn't include where you get victims here. This is just a replica of what has been happening, what has happened. They are not the first people for this. What has been the priority? Read Poche a lot of Terentia. Mayor Terentia, what of work, one out protector Naki. Very bizarre. Is this the approach right? And also some character profile about Taba de Ramolatu. Raba profile, give a man, give a Taban Zinjam, but you are key. Second, repair profile the victims. How does one become a victim? What a guy would you like king or a repair profile? Repair address the issue. Repair Bonahoro rather sign tota. Well, Arakaski. It's not going to work, it will continue. Mehala Nakele has social media hampy. Garpili Lucidini, it is a report to Yaga report to a hampy. Pelin read well. Hampy opened this because of the social media, Rokana Hodibon, but the real house and Metro Highly, Real Legion, Rokana Hodibon. So thank for the social media. Yeah, gore busetsa kae ko morago gore mme yaanong di-solutions tsa rona e tshwanetse be le tse dintseng jang go raya gore ga re profite batho ba dirang molato re profite di-victim re be re leba the fabric of our nation batho ba gantsi re ba bona ko kae ba ba dirang melato ke mmepe wa Botswana botsala bo bosigo re batho ba dirang melato re bona ko kae mme re ba bona ba tshela jang even the social economic map wa rona hela mo Botswana go ka go supegetsa gore nya batho ba re ba bona ko kae o re la re ka tla mo re tara bua sekgwa sa re gongwe ke sa nyatse o tla nna ba gore re etse thuto ya batho ba dirang ba batho ba ntseng jang ha o ka kwa bona rona le tshwama sekgwa se tona ha ya ka le dilwara la go te lwara kgaotse mo wa kere ya ha o ta go nna re tsere sekgwa se okay ha wa go bona go ta wa tshela gore motho o dira matlo ta kwa the level of education go ta se e kwa yana a re simole le ko re go bathong ba re bona gore re ka se dirang keng.
Safe workplaces? No longer optional, now a legal obligation. Legal researcher Tlamelo Mothudi dropped one of the heaviest truths. Even lawyers are victims and perpetrators. She warned that women's movements are restricted daily, not just at home but in public spaces. GBV follows women everywhere, and dismantling it will require cross-sector collaboration, not isolated fixes.
I want to maybe also respond to that notion of lawyers don't commit acts of gender-based violence and remind us of the person who was from DPP who committed an act of gender-based violence. So when women shouldn't go to the Shabini, the Bara, you should go to CBD. Because how I go CBD, you are safe. When I security, you won't be touched by gender-based violence there. Abantare, Kana women shouldn't go around at night. How are 6 o'clock ahead? I can read or like I only knows somehow with your brothers. I had 2 brothers. Somehow with your brothers. So already I was told, right, and I was taught, right, to fear and to be conscious about how I move as a woman in the world, which is unfair, which then limits my right of movement, right? So abantare, women shouldn't go out at night. How time go tax shopping and something happens to you? What do you expect? Right? Hey, that's what he said to me. What do you expect? Like I was teaching the one time, we had a session with Abantari. Yes, but if you are married and you get raped, why are you complaining? Why did you get married? I get it right, so when I marital rape. I get it right. Okay. So changing the way that we talk about, think about, perceive gender-based violence, also based on what we are taught as we come up, as we are raised, right? And to say that it happens to us regardless of where you are. We've been talking about how it happens in your home, right? It happens in your home, it happens at school, it happens in your workplace, it even happens in public. That's gender-based violence, right? The inability of a woman who finds herself impregnated and decides she can't keep this for whatever reason, and she can't go and get a termination of pregnancy, that's a form of gender-based violence, right? So it happens everywhere, and I think we have to be open and very consciously aware of this, because that then dictates how we move and how we respond to it in the best possible way. So when we say cross-collaboration, we're talking about everywhere. We're talking now about the workplace. There's a Trade Disputes Act, and within the Trade Disputes Act, there's a code of good, I think they call it a code of good practice. And already the Code of Good Practice is saying that employers must write in their policy. I was very excited to hear that as a union you have a policy. I applaud you, right? How many civil society organizations, private institutions, schools, universities, institutions of higher learning, these shop or choppies. I had a colleague of mine from FAB who was assaulted in a shop. I know minding her own business, just because of the way that she responded to him. And that time they were telling her to calm down. That was the response. Not calling the police to come and arrest him.
Attorney Njiramanda Mbewe Boate didn't hold back. She argued that weak enforcement is literally costing lives because departments fail to act fast enough. Botswana has laws on paper, but in practice, delays, breakdowns, and collapsed protection mechanisms that leave victims unprotected.
I absolutely agree with the Honorable Minister and with my fellow panelists. When we say it begins with us on accountability, but also it would be remiss of me to say that if we are accountable and there are certain areas that are not, it would be wrong for us not to call them out or to say it out. Sometimes as a community we are accountable. We do report, we've heard the stories of the previous speakers. You know, they were neglected by structures that are in place that were supposed to look after them. So we have to speak out and say, as a structure, your mandate is this and you must do it. And not just really just focus on us and what we've done. I want to speak about enforcement. The law is very important. It's important because, one, if it's there, you can do something. If it's not there, you can create it so that we can do something. If something is not done also, you can do something. It is powerful. The law is, if you speak about what is binding, the law would be more binding, even more than policy. And where am I getting to? I'm getting to the issue of the fact that as a matter of fact or as a reality, we have lost people where the community has done something towards the fact that a certain government department or government body or law enforcement has not done their part. That is a fact. Sometimes we call and we are told there is no car that is coming to pick you. That has been said to many of us. Sometimes you are even told, come and pick us up. You know, we don't have a car. Are you able to come and pick us up? And this time someone is outside your yard trying to come in. So we also have to acknowledge, yes, there's a part we need to play, which we should play. But we must acknowledge also that sometimes we play our part and there's another team player who doesn't play theirs. And unfortunately with GBV, it leads to the loss of a life. I often see, and I always use this example because I feel that if we keep talking about it and addressing it, things can be better. Why is it that when we are on the road and money is being transported, it is escorted? Money is protected. And if we're talking about priorities, human life has to be a priority more than money. Let them rob the car that is moving money from one point to the other. It is escorted with 4 or 5 vehicles. Also, when we speak about those who are accused persons or those who are going to court who are already convicted or accused, we have to move out of the way for them. They are also escorted. So the same plea which is being made to us that we should be accountable, we acknowledge and accept, and we will be. But we are also saying, please, to those who we've entrusted with the authority to help to keep us safe, also meet us somewhere. Let's meet each other somewhere. Because we'll do our part, you don't do yours, we lose a life. That would be my final.
The Botswana Federation of Trade Unions Secretary General, Tsepiso Mbereki, said the forum was intentionally built as a safe, relaxed, honest space. The goal? Hear directly from survivors and force policymakers to listen without filters. Mbereki said GBV is not just a home issue, it's a workplace and societal emergency, and silence is enabling it.
We were here for a dialogue on gender-based violence, which is quite a concern in our country, and we all know the numbers batho ba ileng gore they are victims of gender-based violence. So today we created a platform for dialogue. We brought in the Honorable Minister of Labour and Home Affairs to give a perspective as a custodian ya melao ya tsa pereko mo lehatsheng. We brought in legal experts. We brought in gender activists, and most importantly, we brought in the victims of gender-based violence so that we get the issues right from the horse's mouth to try and establish how gender-based violence actually affects people, how it starts, and also very important to come up with solutions and proposals as to how we can actually deal with the issue of gender-based violence. So that was the objective of today's gathering, and we wanted it to be done in a more relaxed platform where people can freely express themselves, and from the discussions you would be shocked that everybody somehow is a survivor and or a victim of gender-based violence.
Botswana's GBV statistics remain among the highest in Africa. Human Rights Watch, UN agencies, and local groups all warn of a growing shadow pandemic, femicide, escalating violence, and chronic underreporting. Activists argue reforms must include faster enforcement, stronger protection for survivors, specialized police units, workplace safeguards, community-level prevention programs. This forum will now be held annually to monitor progress and push for accountability. SnapFlash fam, here's the big question. Is Botswana finally ready to confront GBV structurally, or are we still talking more than we're acting? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you value this kind of reporting, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really boosts the channel. BFTU's forum didn't solve the crisis, but it forced the right people to hear the raw truth. With new laws coming and pressure building, the real test is whether action will match the urgency. This is SnapFlash. Keep questioning, stay informed. See you on the next update.